One arrow, one bird. That was all it took to damn a soul for the rest of his life. This is the story of a sailor who killed the one creature that had guided his ship safely through the fog, and the terrible price the ocean made him pay. They called him the Ancient Mariner, and by the end he would understand a law older than any king and older than any nation, the law that says nothing cruel is ever truly forgotten. It began with a voyage into waters no man aboard had ever seen. A storm drove their ship toward the bottom of the world, into a land of ice and mist, where the ropes turned white with frost and the sails grew stiff as iron. The crew was afraid. There was no wind, no direction, only the endless groaning of the ice all around them. And then, out of that white silence, a great white bird appeared, an albatross. It circled the mast, it followed the ship, and something changed. The ice cracked, a wind rose, the sails filled. The bird had led them out of death itself. The men loved that bird. They fed it from their hands. Every morning it returned, riding the wind beside them like a blessing with wings. For 9 days it came, and for 9 days the ship sailed safely on.
But there was one man on board who did not feel gratitude. He felt something else, a restlessness, a need to prove that he feared nothing, that no bird and no invisible power held any command over him. And one grey morning, without a word, without a reason he could ever explain, he raised his weapon and he killed it. The great white bird fell from the sky and struck the deck, and the wind, the same wind that had carried them to safety, went utterly silent. At first the crew was furious. How could he kill the bird that saved them all? But by afternoon the sun broke through, warm and golden, and the men changed their minds. Perhaps the bird had brought the fog, they said. Perhaps killing it was right after all. And in that moment, without knowing it, every man on that ship made the sailor's crime their own. They approved of it, they shared in it, and so they would share in what came next. Because the sea does not forget, and the sea had been watching.
The wind did not return. Day after day, the ship sat frozen on a flat and burning sea. The sun became an enemy, a copper eye nailed to the sky. The water stretched to the horizon in every direction, endless, and yet there was not a single drop a man could drink. Water everywhere, and every throat cracking with thirst. The boards of the deck grew hot underfoot. The ocean itself seemed to rot, thick and still, and strange lights moved beneath the surface at night. The men's lips blackened, their tongues swelled, and slowly one terrible thought settled over all of them. This was not bad luck. This was punishment, and they knew exactly who had brought it upon them. They did not speak, for they had no water left to waste on words. Instead, they took the body of the great white bird, and they hung it around the sailor's neck. Not a cross to protect him, a weight to mark him, a sign for all to see. This is the man who did it. Let him carry it. Then the dying began. One by one, the crew fell where they stood. No violence, no blood, only the quiet collapse of men who had run out of time. And each of them, in his final moment, turned his face toward the sailor. 200 pairs of eyes fixed on the one who had cursed them all. And then they were still. He was alone now.
alone on a dead ship, on a dead sea, with the weight of the bird pressing against his chest and the eyes of his crew staring up at him from the deck. 7 days and 7 nights he lived like that. He tried to pray and no words would come. He tried to die and death would not take him. For that was the curse, not to end but to remain, to live inside what he had done with no escape and no forgiveness anywhere in sight. This is the moment the story turns. This is the moment that decides everything. Because a man can carry that kind of guilt for only so long before something inside him must break or bend.
On the 7th night he looked over the side of the ship, down into the black and rotting water he had cursed, and there, in the shadow of the vessel, he saw them, sea creatures, coils of living light moving through the dark, blue and green and shining gold, turning and weaving in a silent dance. Once he would have called them ugly, once he would have looked away, but now, emptied of everything, with nothing left to protect and no pride left to defend, he simply watched them. And something happened that he did not plan and could not force. He loved them, quietly, helplessly. He loved these small living things for no reason at all, except that they were alive and beautiful and did not deserve his contempt. A blessing rose up from somewhere deep inside him without a single word, and in that instant the weight lifted. The body of the great white bird slipped from his neck and fell into the sea, and it sank like lead, and it was gone. He could pray again. Rain fell at last, soft and cool on his cracked lips. The wind returned, and though the journey home would be long, and though he would never again be the man he had been before, the sailor understood something now that he would spend the rest of his life telling to anyone who would listen. He had killed one creature, one small life he thought did not matter, and that single act of cruelty had unraveled everything, because cruelty is never small, and nothing living is ever truly beneath our care. The universe had not punished him out of anger. It had simply shown him the truth, that we are bound to every living thing, and what we do to the least of them, we do to ourselves. The old sailor spent his remaining years wandering from place to place, stopping strangers, telling his tale, not to frighten them, to save them. And the lesson he left behind is as old as the sea and as urgent as your next breath. He who loves all things, great and small, is the one who truly learns to live. So let me ask you this. Have you ever done something small and cruel, believing no one would ever know? The ocean in this story is not really the ocean. It is the quiet law that governs every one of us. Tell me in the comments what you believe that law truly is. And if this story moved you, stay a while. There are more tales like it waiting for you here.